Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy. Gonna make a quick SummerSlam review, just to get my thoughts out there really quickly. I'm gonna talk about some of the matches that interest me. I'm not gonna talk about the whole card, just the matches that interest me, or at least that has my attention. Honestly, I'm really not feeling the vibe for SummerSlam. I'm more excited for All In than I am for SummerSlam this coming Sunday. But there's some things, like I said, that at least interest me, to say the least. And so I'm just going to talk about a couple of those matches. And also I'm interested in NXT tomorrow as well. But anyway, so one of the matches I'm interested in, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title. Dean Ambrose just came back this past Monday night on Raw. I know a lot of people have been speculating, since Dean had been gone for as long as he has been, which has been a while. They speculated him to like maybe turn on Seth, turn heel, and he and Seth will have a feud. I don't think that'll happen. I mean, it could very well happen, but I just don't. I don't see it happening. Maybe later down the road, they may turn Ambrose, but I just don't see it right now. The guy just came back last Monday. Run with it with him being a babyface, and don't just flip the switch right away. Let's see what they do with him first. Let's see if is there any change to Dean Ambrose as a babyface first before you want to hit the dial and flip him. But I think that should be a good match between Ziggler and Seth Rollins. Who do I think win? At this point, I say keep it on Dolph Ziggler. I think Dolph Ziggler has probably had probably the best momentum right now currently and in his entire career. That really says a lot, because I think Dolph Ziggler is just a really talented guy, but just really underutilized within the company. But since they've been pairing him up with a returning Drew Galloway or Drew McIntyre, he's had the best momentum, in my opinion, I think, out of his entire career right now. So I just say let him continue on with it. Rollins, in my opinion, I feel has kind of outgrown the IC title. I mean, if he would have stayed IC champion up until this point, I would have been fine with it. But since he dropped the belt unexpectedly to Dolph Ziggler, and they've kind of had this feud for about 2.5 months now, I'm kind of done with Rollins chasing for the IC title. I'm ready to see him back in that main event slot, competing for the heavyweight title, or just moving on to other things before going back in the main event slot. But I see Dolph Ziggler getting it here. Ronda Rousey versus Bliss for the Raw Women's title. I think Ronda's going to get it. Until knowing what I know now, and that Natty's father passed away, I kind of would have figured that maybe Natty would have screwed Ronda Rousey, and they would save Ronda Rousey's big title victory for the Evolution pay-per-view. I think the women's Evolution pay-per-view, I think that would be a big historic moment for that pay-per-view if Ronda Rousey would have won the title there. Just kind of like maybe, and it still could happen. It still could happen. Maybe Alexa Bliss might do something to screw Ronda out of the title. If Ronda wins at SummerSlam, I think it'd be interesting. But something tells me though that I think they're going to save that for the women's pay-per-view, which I believe is at the end of September. I don't think it's October. It's like September 30th or 31st, something like that. But I think the Evolution pay-per-view is the end of September, so it wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't surprise me if she won, but it wouldn't surprise me either if Ronda got screwed out of the title shot, or got screwed in winning, I should say, and ends up prolonging her title victory for the Evolution pay-per-view. I could see that happening. I know I've seen quite a few wrestling fans kind of give their opinions and say that, hey, for an all-women's pay-per-view, having Bliss and Carmella as your women's champions going into the pay-per-view probably is not a good, selling point. For Carmella, I'd agree. For Bliss, I think she could go in the Evolution pay-per-view as a champion, and I don't see that being a bad thing, because to me, Bliss has been one of the most, how should I say, marketable women that they have on that roster next to Charlotte. So I see Bliss probably going in. That wouldn't surprise me at all if she retains. Another match I'm interested in, we'll talk about AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE title. I'm excited that this match is happening, but I'm not having my hopes up really, really high. Just for the simple fact that, last time we got, two great wrestlers that we know that can go and that have chemistry, and WWE had it in the palm of their hands, and WWE just chicken shat all over that. And when I mean referring to that, I mean Nakamura versus AJ Styles. They had all the potential in the world to not only relive, but maybe even do better than, you know, the feud that they had at Wrestle Kingdom 10. Didn't happen. Not at all. They turned Nakamura heel, which at that point I think was fine, but that was only due to the fact of them squandering him as a babyface. They drew the match out, or the feud, I should say. They prolonged the feud a lot. The constant nut shots, and Nakamura didn't get any. He didn't get the W on AJ at all whatsoever. I'm fine with AJ Styles being WWE champion. I love AJ Styles. If AJ Styles was to carry the belt throughout till WrestleMania of next year, I wouldn't complain. I don't think he'd have I wouldn't have the biggest gripe from him versus, say, someone like Brock Lesnar if AJ held the belt up to WrestleMania. So I am interested in seeing this match. I don't know to what lengths is how it's going to go and how they're going to book it. Who do I think should win? I'm kind of 50-50 split. Like I said, if AJ you know, goes past SummerSlam as champion, I could see AJ retaining and maybe even drop the belt no later than Survivor Series. However, I don't think Samoa Joe is a one and done type of like feud. Whereas how I felt with Rusev was just a bumper, you know, a bumper match or a bumper feud to get AJ past Extreme Rules to the bigger pay-per-view. I don't feel that way with Joe. Even if AJ finds a way to retain the title, I see this program with Joe extending beyond SummerSlam, at least another maybe like 2 pay-per-views or something, and then maybe Samoa Joe may win the WWE Championship at that next pay-per-view. So I'm kind of 50-50 on this. If they pull the trigger on Joe and Joe wins the title here at SummerSlam, I'd be fine with that too. I just don't really feel like, since the start of this feud leading up to the Go Home show, this past Tuesday, I don't feel like this feud really has enough sting. I feel like this feud is just really starting to kick off. It's really just, the seeds have been kind of planted, but nothing has really been, it hasn't really taken off. I don't feel this feud has really taken off. We know Joe is a beast on the mic. We know when AJ is motivated, he can do his thing. I think it's going to be a good match. I'm not down that at all. Like I said, in terms of the outcome, I think it could just kind of go 50-50. I could see AJ retaining, but I could also see Joe getting it too. But it wouldn't surprise me if Joe doesn't get it, because I just don't think there was enough steam in this feud. I don't think there was enough steam in this feud, and I just feel like Joe is. It feels like this isn't a bumper match just to get AJ past SummerSlam. This could be a 3-month program of Joe and AJ going back and forth, and maybe Joe ends up winning the belt on the second run, or the second match, or he could win it at SummerSlam. But he still will have a program with AJ Styles for the next 2 months or whatever, next 2 pay-per-views. I can see that happening as well. So it's 50-50 for me on that match. Main event match: Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. This is another match that I'm not really interested in the match per se, but I am interested in the outcome, because again, this could go a multitude of ways, 1 of 3 actually. Roman Reigns could beat Brock Lesnar. Will he do it clean? I don't know. I mean, he had like 2 shots at Brock Lesnar, 3 actually, and got his ass kicked on each occasion. He could lose clean. He could. He could beat Brock Lesnar clean. He could beat Brock Lesnar clean. He could lose to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar could retain, and Money in the Bank. Braun Strowman can cash in. I know Braun has his briefcase on the line against Kevin Owens, but let's be real here. He ain't dropping that briefcase to Owens. Braun has been the hottest superstar over the last year and a half now. He's not dropping the Money in the Bank briefcase. Not going to happen. So either Roman Reigns, beats Brock, Braun cashes in, or Brock retains and they screw everyone again, the fans, they screw everyone again, give him a swerve, because I know Brock is supposed to be coming in on Raw the next night. He is contracted to show up on Raw after SummerSlam, and if Brock could retain, beating Roman, and Braun could cash in on Brock Lesnar the Raw after SummerSlam, and they could write Brock off that way, because apparently, from what I've been hearing, after Raw this coming Monday, Brock Lesnar's not going to be in WWE for a long while, because he's going to try to get in back with the UFC, get that DC fight in the UFC pay-per-view. So these are just all the things I'm just thinking about here. Either way, we could end up, Braun Strowman could end up cashing in his briefcase at Money in the Bank, or on Raw, whether Brock or Roman wins the belt on Sunday, or even to the next night going in on Monday. You guys let me know what you think. Do yourself a favor. Let me know what you think about SummerSlam. Are you hyped for it? Hit that like button and subscribe and hit that notification. Peace out.